you cannot say that, my wife is married to me, I'm not married to her, because even the husband has a lot of obligations towards the wife's family. People's perception, it's their own perception. Some will say BJP has a dubious record. For me, I see BJP as a party which has been very steady in its growth. Yes, I do agree that we have money and muscle power politics. Any election is announced, it's the women groups who are very active. They go for campaign, they're the ones who are here, they're very active. People were more defective than effective, so I should try to be more effective. So it's an encouragement. Thank you, Congress.
Hello and welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview. Being the first woman from Nagaland to enter the upper house of parliament, all eyes are on S. Phangnon Konyak. She comes from a state where the refrain is, "My wife is married to me, I am not married to her." How tough was it to break the glass ceiling? How challenging is the road ahead? In this edition of HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, we have with us S. Phangnon Konyak, representing a state that opposed reservation for women. Welcome to the show, Phangnon Konyak, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And congratulations on being a Rajya Sabha member.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Let me begin with the common refrain in the state of Nagaland, where it is said, "My wife is married to me and I am not married to her." Against this context, isn't women empowerment a distant dream?
Well, I do not agree with the statement, because our society, yes, when it comes to political empowerment, we lag behind. But in other fields, that is not so. Like, of course, one part is that when you marry someone, the woman has to adopt the identity of the husband. So it's a patriarchal society. And the children inherit the father's name, the clan, the title. But then that does not mean that once you marry into that family that, your identity, of course, there's a little bit of a blur that it gets, because somehow the acceptance from your own is a bit less. And total acceptance takes time. But then we do have this culture of in-laws, like the relationship that you are supposed to have with your in-laws. So you cannot say that, my wife is married to me, I'm not married to her, because even the husband has a lot of obligations towards the wife's family.
The Congress has targeted you and said Nagaland's 60 legislators destroyed the image of the Christian state. What would you say to that?
Of course, the opposition in my state, they have not had an MLA for 10 years. It's been 10 years since, Nagaland has not voted any Congress MLA. So the only card thing they have is religion. So time and again, especially when it's election, they bring up the religion card. Because they do not have so much to talk about. Our government did this, we did this is the progress we made, Because, for example, I campaigned in Manipur for BJP. It's very easy to campaign. Why? So much of things the government has done. For example, COVID vaccination, the free food grains, Ayushman Bharat, all those things. So when you have things to talk about, then you do not target others. You talk about what you have done. But when you do not have so much to talk about, then every 5 years, it's the religion card.
But do you think the Congress is targeting the BJP on its dubious record as far as minorities are concerned?
We cannot say that. Well, I do not agree to it. Because, see, people's perception, it's their own perception. Some will say BJP has a dubious record. For me, I see BJP as a party which has been very steady in its growth. And all parties, they do attract certain criticisms. But then if that was true, that criticism would have halted. And this mass-based support wouldn't have come about.
But what about its targeting the minorities and also the Christians in one sense? Because that is the perception, nationally I'm saying.
Nationally, that may be the perception, but see, it's not it's not only particularly Christians. In a country as large as ours, with so much of population, time and again, small incidences do happen. And you just cannot blame BJP for it. Because the country is made up of so many political parties, so many communities, so much of diversity. So we cannot just bring everything and, blame BJP on it. So I don't think I agree to that statement.
How true is the fact that women have no place in the society in Nagaland, and there is more money and muscle powered politics?
Yes, I do agree that we have money and muscle power politics. We have women in politics, but then we do have intending candidates who come, but then till now no women has been able to get elected. Various reasons, but now the perception is changing. We see that people are more open to women leadership, and I think in the coming years there will be a change. But what you said about money and muscle power, of course it's true. But then I don't think it'll be the same.
It is substantiated by the fact that you're the first woman to have entered Parliament in the Rajya Sabha and the second to enter Parliament. Yes. And then not a single woman since 1963 has been elected an MLA.
Yes.
So what does it speak of the record of the state?
Because sometimes even women step back. So it is not just the males suppressing the women. Even women also step back at times from taking that final step. But now, I don't think that's going to happen, because now there is a change in the mindset, the perception. Initially we had our customary laws, our tradition, our culture. So there all the decision making is done by the men. So that is how our society was. But then we have taken the step forward. Let us look at that positive way. Because now I think things will change.
Because you are in Parliament?
Hopefully, I will try.
You said women take a step back.
Yes.
But if I come to percentage of women who vote in Nagaland, the percentage of women who vote in Nagaland is higher than men.
Higher than the male.
In 2018 assembly elections, for instance, 86% women voted against 81% men.
Yes.
And in 2013 also, the women voters were more than 2%. So when you say they step back, and as against that we have these figures, it doesn't fit in.
Yes. Women are actively engaged in their active part of the electoral process. So when any election is announced, it's the women groups who are very active. They go for campaign, they are the ones who are here, they're very active. But we do not have any, elected female legislature. Even this time, there was only I was the single female candidate who applied for it. So women, we also need to take that one step. So women are engaged in electoral politics. But when it comes to taking that final step, maybe at times, because there may be reasons like money, muscle power, all those things, factors, stop them.
You said that money and muscle power may be stopping them. Why didn't it stop you?
I had confidence that if I really wanted to fight for it, I could. Also because I have a very supportive, personally I have a supportive family. So my vision was very clear, my goal was very clear. So I really wanted to try for it.
So you were not fearful of the men and muscle power?
No.
It didn't deter you? Was it
No.
a thought which crossed your mind?
Never. If it had to come, I was ready to face it on.
But you said that women don't come forward. And when it comes to contesting elections, they are hesitant.
Yes.
But even in your case, it seems to be right, because you were elected unopposed. You hardly fought an election.
Yes. See, our UDA partner was planning to put up a candidate, but in the last minute, they did not. So I did not fight the election, yes.
But you were ready to fight?
Yes. Yes.
And you would have preferred to fight?
Yes. Rather than come in unopposed, I was ready. I would have preferred to fight, but I was ready.
You know, it is the same state where the state government's bid to hold urban local bodies elections in 2017 with 33% quota was opposed, vehemently opposed. And the women's reservation bill also was, opposed on ground that it goes against the Naga culture. So what would you say, pitched against that, what would you say about women, their empowerment? And I come back to the same thing because that's a major issue.
So it is not only at the state level, but it is also at the national level. But then we do have women who are advocating it, So I think things will change. And we have a Prime Minister who is very much into the Nari Shakti thing. Yes, he's very supportive of it because he has given women empowerment a push.
As a woman MP, what are the changes you are looking at? And when someone asked you this question earlier, you said you will deliberate with your party colleagues and then speak.
Once I begin work, I'll talk about it. Not now.
Why the secret?
It's not a secret, but then you see, I'm doing my homework now because I've identified the areas that I want to focus in and I'm getting the data and details. So, I don't want to talk about it now. Once everything is said, work begins, everyone will know.
The Congress has also said Nagaland has had many parliamentarians who are less effective and more defective. This is what they said. And it hopes that you will perform than getting the seat simply because you are a woman. How do you react to this?
Well, since they have expressed hope, I hope to live up to the faith and hope that the people have, definitely. And whatever they've said, okay, yes, it is good for me. People were more defective than effective, so I should try to be more effective. So it's an encouragement. Thank you, Congress.
Let me speak a little about the culture and your tribe. The Konyaks believe in spirits. Do you also believe in spirits?
Well, I do believe in omens. But Konyaks, traditionally, we used to, we had nature worship before we converted to Christianity. So there was a lot of belief not only in spirits, but also in different omens and signs. All those things were there, yes. And so at times, yes, culturally, traditionally, there are some things that we do believe, which we believe.
Did anyone in your family, and I'll use the word earn a tattoo on the face or on the chest?
Yes. My forefathers, many of my forefathers. Because, see, our tribe, we have this, on the face, we are called tantus. So we tattoo our faces and our bodies, and warriors used to do that. So, and the tattoo designs, they indicate the family or the clan that you belong to. So, depending on the design, people could identify which clan you belong to. So, my family also, we have had people with tattoos, like our forefathers with tattoos.
I use the word earn because apparently
yes.
a tattoo is earned when you not only defeat your enemy, but you slit off the head of the enemy and bring it home.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, right.
So, what are the stories you heard in your family?
Many stories. But then, my grandfather was the one who was instrumental in stopping head hunting in Konyak areas. So, that is there. So, that time there was this practice of head hunting. A lot of head hunting used to go on. So, he was, instrumental in going around the Konyak villages because he joined service in 1922 under the British. So, after that, and half of Konyak area, just a little part of it was under it, or else we were unadministered area. So that time, a lot of head hunting used to take place because that was our way of life. That was how things were. So I do not mean to say that we were doing that throughout the year, but then sometimes, when some clashes happen, some things happen, then these cases used to happen. So he was the one who went around and he stopped head hunting in our areas, also consolidated the Konyak areas as a whole.
So after your grandfather, one didn't have to earn a tattoo, one could just get one.
Just get one, yes.
Okay. Your strong point is patience, which you apparently imbibed from your mother. So tell me the years of growing up and take me down memory lane.
Both my father and mother, they're very patient people, both of them. They're very quiet and patient. Actually, I was the one who was a bit loud in the family.
You're very soft-spoken.
When it comes to the real thing, then I can also get loud. So, yeah, my parents, they were very patient. And then we were always, taught to be humble. You have to be humble, you have to serve. So that thing was always there from childhood. Also, see, as one grows up, then you get to see many things. So the change also is like a personal change. Then, okay, too much of cynicism is not good. One should have a balance between days. So that is how the realization and also the advice from the family and friends, came about. And somehow that has molded me into the person that I am now. And every day is a challenge that I want to learn and improve. That is there, yeah.
Any interesting childhood incidents, some which have left an impact, some you'd like to tell us? Fun incidents,
Lots, well, I have lots. Our lives were not like the lives of the children, the lifestyles that they have now. Because being from one district, holidays used to be spent traveling to villages, going to visiting villages for some work days. So that thing was always there. And I was always exposed to, our culture a lot. So these were the fun facts, because when some people come, then, we have this, you have to give them tea in a certain cup, you should know. So all these things were there. So culture was always a part of our lives, and traveling to the villages. So even now sitting here, this is a very, this is a very comfortable place, and, But then when I think, I just think of the roads there, the thatch houses, those are my roots. And I have to, it's always there, it's very clear in my mind. I see the, thatch roofs, the unmetalled roads, So I always think of that. So whenever, like, I'm here, but then I know that that is the place I need to focus and work. So that is always there in my mind. So I think from childhood, I cannot say specific memory, but then we did a lot of traveling within the district. So that thing has always remained with me. And whenever I go back, I know that my roots are there. I have to work there, like I have to focus there. So that is always there in my mind.
You had no political affiliations. So how and why did politics happen? In fact, it was only in 2017 that you really took the plunge. So how did it happen?
I was involved in politics earlier, but I was involved like since 2003-04. I was involved actively campaigning for some candidate, supporting some candidate. 2013 from my village, like constituency, we had a BJP minister, MLA who was elected. So I worked, but then I did not join any party. I was, I served as political secretary, PS to some minister. They said, so I was in politics. I did not join any party because I wanted to make a very clear decision and join, because I didn't want to join a party and after 2 months leave it and go join another party. I didn't want to do that. So that is why it took a long time for me to take this decision. And then I thought, now see, because since 2003-04 I was in politics, involved in politics, then I started liking it. So I gave myself time to see. Then 2013, as 13, 14, then I thought, now I think, because since I'm active politically, I should have, I should join a party, because I cannot be a free player here, there, So that is why I joined. I took time, decided, and then I joined BJP.
Right decision, wrong decision?
Right decision. It has brought me here. Which party will give? I'm a Mahila Morcha serving in a small capacity in a very small state in India. Many people have not heard of Nagaland. There may be people who haven't heard of Nagaland. So for the party to, consider giving me this ticket, it's such an honor, because BJP, I believe, is a party, the dynastic politics is not there. So that's why people like me have got a chance.
But none of your parents were in politics. No. You're the first person to be in politics. Yes. So how did that thought come, and was it accidental?
No, I was interested in politics since childhood. Yeah. So I cannot say it's accidental. I was interested in politics, and I was actively somehow campaigning here, there. That was always there.
But you did your master's in English and that also from the Delhi University.
Yes.
What were your career choices then? It certainly was not politics.
No, actually it was politics, social work. But then I had to get a degree. I got the degree, but then I was involved in student unions here, some activism, and then I did a lot of social work in my place, also politics. So that was my choice for degree because I was interested in the subject. But then my calling for my work was always politics, social work.
So if it was not politics, what would it have been?
Social work.
Okay. Yeah. But you did English literature.
Yes, because I'm interested in the subject. Yeah.
Phangnon Konyak, thank you very much. Thank you for your time and thank you for being here with us. Pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you.